Well, you'll most likely drive through Primm either on your way or coming back from California. It was once a place with a lot of different options for shopping, for hotels, gambling, but it's really changed over the past few months.
It's the spot where you know you're almost home. And with Whiskey Pete's closed and Buffalo Bills limited to concerts, the town is looking pretty empty.
The desolate parking lots and buildings may conjure up the image of a ghost town.
One of Primm's casinos is shutting down.
Buffalo Bills is one of Primm Valley's 3 resorts. It closed July 7th of this year, with business declining in the area.
If you've ever driven over the state line between Nevada and California, you've probably come across a type of unofficial landmark. It's this castle-looking casino called Whiskey Pete's on I-15 at Primm, but a source confirmed to Channel 13 it's now closed for business.
Vegas is crashing, and Primm's already gone. Las Vegas, once the unstoppable giant of American tourism, is now showing signs of serious decline. Fewer tourists, emptier casinos, and rising costs are quietly reshaping the city once known for nonstop entertainment. But just 40 miles south of the Strip, things look even worse. The small town of Primm, once a bustling rest stop for Californians heading to Vegas, has nearly collapsed. Hotels are shuttered, outlet malls are half empty. Locals are losing jobs and services are vanishing. This isn't just an isolated story. It's part of a growing trend across the Southwest. And behind it all, a mix of rising travel costs, shifting tourist behavior, and new economic policies, including tariffs reintroduced in 2025 under President Trump. Today, we'll explore how Las Vegas is slowly slipping and how Primm may be the first casualty in a much bigger economic shift. Is this just a temporary slump or the start of a deeper crash? Let's find out. Part 1. Las Vegas under pressure. Las Vegas isn't just under pressure, it's running out of time. In the second quarter of 2025, hotel occupancy across the city dropped by nearly 14% compared to the same period just 2 years earlier.
According to a Friday report from the LVCVA, hotel occupancy dropped to 76% in July. That's about a 7% drop from last year.
That's not a dip, that's a warning sign. The number of international visitors, especially from Canada and Asia, has fallen off sharply.
And the biggest fallout for airlines may come from boycotts, with frustrated foreigners avoiding American travel. Already, bookings from Mexico are down 23% this year, Canada 40%.
Many are staying home, not because they don't want the Vegas experience, but because they simply can't justify the cost anymore. And it's not just about airfare. Resort fees are climbing. Parking, once free at most major casinos, now costs as much as a meal.
Which, they moved the resort fee. Every time we would come, the resort fees went higher to the point where they were $50.
Everything is just so prohibitively expensive. Like buffets are over $80. Even just to park on the Strip was $20 for an hour.
I'm staying at a hotel in Vegas and I checked in and I'm like, you know what? I could really go for a water. So there's these little waters right here. So out of curiosity, before I drink one, I'm like, how expensive is this water gonna be? So I scanned the little QR code, $18.
What?
1-8. $18 for a bottle of water.
Wow.
I will kindly be drinking from the sink.
Even a simple weekend getaway can easily top $1,000 after taxes, tips, and surprise charges. And travelers are noticing.
We will probably never come back again. This is probably our last visit.
We're never coming back to this city.
According to a national travel poll, nearly 1 in 3 Americans say they've either canceled or avoided a Vegas trip in the past year due to cost. It's a dramatic shift for a city that was once the most affordable luxury escape in the country. Meanwhile, on the Strip, foot traffic during weekdays has thinned, convention bookings are down, and casinos, while still operating, report lower average spending per visitor than in pre-pandemic years. The energy is still there on the surface, but behind the neon and noise, there's growing anxiety. Vegas depends on constant motion, on planes arriving, cards flipping, drinks flowing, and when that motion slows, the cracks start to show. Part 2, Primm's collapse. Just 40 minutes south of Las Vegas, Primm tells an even darker story. This tiny town sitting quietly on the Nevada-California border was once a hidden gem for travelers. It offered cheap hotel rooms, slot machines, gas stations, and one of the largest outlet malls in the region. For Californians driving to Vegas, it was the perfect pit stop. But now, it's practically abandoned. Whiskey Pete's, once the most iconic casino in Primm, shut its doors in late 2024. The Primm Valley Resort is operating at a fraction of its capacity, and the fashion outlets of Las Vegas, a huge draw in its heyday, now sit nearly 70% empty. Walking through the mall feels eerie. Rows of dark storefronts, closed food courts, and echoing hallways where tourists once lined up for bargains. What happened? Primm relied almost entirely on road trippers, people looking for a cheaper alternative to Vegas or a quick thrill on their way to the Strip. But as Vegas became more expensive, and as new casino options popped up in California, Primm got squeezed from both sides. It didn't diversify, it didn't evolve. And when the travelers stopped coming, the economy simply collapsed. No crowds, no cash flow, no jobs, no community. Primm isn't just struggling, it's unraveling. And it's becoming a stark warning of what happens when a town bets everything on tourism and loses. Part 3, bigger forces at play. So what's really behind this unraveling? It's not just bad luck or even just the aftermath of the pandemic. There are bigger forces at play, economic shifts, policy changes, and a dramatic change in how people travel. Let's start with tariffs. In early 2025, the Trump administration reintroduced a new wave of import and service tariffs aimed at protecting American industries. While the intention was to boost domestic production, the ripple effects hit unexpected places, like tourism.
They're coming home. They're all coming home. And we want them to come home. They have to come home. We're going to treat them really well.
Cross-border fees and new taxes made travel between Canada and the U.S. significantly more expensive. That directly impacted Canadian visitors, who used to make up a big portion of Las Vegas tourists. But that's not the only factor. The cost of running a hotel, restaurant, or casino in Nevada has gone up. Supplies, imported goods, labor, everything is more expensive now. Businesses have passed those costs on to customers. That means higher resort fees, overpriced meals, and less value for the same Vegas experience. Now let's talk about competition. While Vegas struggles with rising prices, tribal casinos in California are thriving. Places like Pechanga, Morongo, and Yamava are pulling in visitors with no resort fees, free parking, lower gaming taxes, and fresh amenities. For many in California, there's no longer a need to drive hundreds of miles to Nevada. And there's something else. Post-pandemic travelers want more than just neon lights and slot machines. They want experiences, nature, culture, authenticity. Vegas has struggled to adapt. The same formula that worked in the early 2000s now feels outdated to a new generation of tourists. So when you add it all up, policy shifts, economic strain, and changing preferences, you get a perfect storm. And Las Vegas, once the undisputed capital of American entertainment, is now fighting to stay on top because the game has changed. Part 4, people left behind. While city leaders and economists debate strategies, the real impact is being felt by everyday people. In places like Primm, the collapse isn't theoretical, it's deeply personal. Unemployment in the area has surged by more than 18% since early 2024. For workers who once filled the hotels, restaurants, and casinos, the jobs have either dried up or become part-time gigs with no benefits. Some are lucky to get a few shifts a week. Others have already packed up and left. When the tourists disappeared, so did the paychecks. And with fewer people living and working in town, the ripple effects have been brutal.
There's hardly any places to eat. We have to drive to Vegas if we want something good to eat.
Schools have lost students and funding. Local clinics face staffing shortages. Even basic public services, like trash pickup and public transit, have been cut back. Business owners who stuck around are now closing for good. A diner that once stayed open 24 hours now closes before sundown. What was once a lively stop on the way to Las Vegas now feels like a dead end. The silence in Primm isn't just economic, it's emotional. These aren't just numbers on a report. These are families, workers, entire communities left behind in the wake of a shifting economy. And if Las Vegas can't find a way to adapt, it's not hard to imagine more towns following Primm's path. Part 5, the bigger question. So now the bigger question, what happens next? Las Vegas has reinvented itself before. It bounced back after the Great Recession. It reopened after the pandemic. But this time, the challenge isn't just recovery, it's relevance. Because the forces at work are deeper than a temporary dip. They're structural. Tourism habits are changing, costs are rising, new competitors are emerging, and policies at the national level are making cross-border travel more expensive and less appealing. If Vegas doesn't evolve, it risks becoming a city out of step with its audience. And Primm may be more than just a cautionary tale. It may be a glimpse into the future of towns and cities that fail to diversify and adapt. The lesson here isn't just about Nevada. It's about what happens when we build economies on fragile foundations and what it takes to rebuild when those foundations start to crack. Because the Las Vegas tourism crash might not be a one-time event. It could be the first sign of a much bigger shift already underway. Thanks for watching.